Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a clear Trimline plastic telephone, and this is David's telephone from North Carolina. And this one's in very good condition. And, you know, these telephones have been around for a while, but there's not that many of them out there any longer. And they're really cool telephones. We do get calls about these from time to time. They're pretty sought after. People like them. And, you know, they're just were a really cool novelty telephone. And David likes this telephone a lot, and that's why he sent it in to have it repaired. Now, this telephone doesn't have any power. He's got a note here, and it's not getting any power whatsoever. And so we're going to do a little bit of checking on this telephone. And what we have here is our red cords. Now, this is a Radio Shack model, and it's got a Radio Shack sticker on the bottom of it. But I do believe these telephones were produced by a company called Conair. But it's hard to tell. You know, it's got the same looks and design as one. And Radio Shack was famous for buying equipment and slapping their name on it. So it is probably a Conair, and you know, Radio Shack probably bought it from them and slapped their name on it. So anyway, we're going to do some checks. I have this telephone plugged in. The bell is turned on, and we're going to try to ring the telephone. So now the analyzer is sending it a ring cycle. You can see here. And we don't have anything. Now I'm going to go ahead and just flip the switch, but it would be in the off position anyway. And then I'm going to turn it back on. Let a ring cycle go by. We know that the telephone's not getting any power. And there's no dial tone. And it did not seize the analyzer. So now what we want to do here is I want to go ahead and unplug this line cord. And I have another line cord that's plugged in. And we'll go ahead and do the same kind of check with it. Ring cycle's going by here. And still nothing. And when I pick up the handset, there still isn't anything. I'm going to stop the ring cycle. And we still don't have anything, and it hasn't seized the analyzer. But this gives you a look at the telephone, and they're really cool telephones. And there's no setting in here for the ring or anything like that. It's on the side here. And this kind of gives you a look at the inside of this telephone. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to have to troubleshoot this telephone now. We're going to go ahead and remove the wires on it. And most likely what's going on here is we're going to have to take these little rubber feet to get to the screws. We're going to have to remove them. And that'll enable us to get down here into where the screws are. We'll go ahead and start removing the base cover. Just want to loosen these screws up a little bit. And then we'll come in with a different screwdriver and go ahead and remove them all. try to get these screws out of there. Now this base might also kind of, there we go. So that removes the plastic cover and gets us down to the PC board. And so now I'm going to pick up the PC board here real quick. We're going to remove some of the screws out of it. And some of these can be kind of tight. That one may not remove very well. Then we have another one here, and it's going to be a difficult one to work on. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take a break from the video, and we are going to start removing that PC board, and we're going to kind of go into it and troubleshoot it. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back, and so what we've done is we've went into this main PC board of the base unit, and I'm going to go ahead and clean my soldering gun. And we'll kind of run through here a little bit of what we found here. We've got a bad diode that I found on the board here. So we're going to set that aside. I have a replacement, and I have it bent into shape so that we can get it on the board. It's my meter here. I want to check this diode, make sure it's good. That diode is good. So now what we're going to do is I want to get this diode into place. I also did a little resoldering on this board. I want to make sure these holes are reamed out for our component. And diodes only go in one way, so if you don't know which way to put them back in, I wouldn't mess with them. Because if you put them in wrong, it'll either burn up the circuit or it won't work. I'm going to put that guy back in there. Now what I want to do is resolder that guy back in. Now I have resoldered some of this board, but I've left a couple things that I want to touch up. Another thing I noticed from the factory, you may be able to catch this on the video, you may not. There's a couple of long pieces of wire here coming off of the bell. They left them too long from the factory, and then they spilt solder all over one of them. So want to get rid of that. And shorten them up and put them where they belong. So I'm glad we caught that. And the fuse was good. That's not uncommon. A lot of times the fuse can be good. Electric can be very funny. Sometimes it can make it right through the fuse and hit so hard that it just goes past the fuse. And you would think it would blow every time, but it doesn't. A lot of times they do, but they don't always blow like they're supposed to. Another thing I don't like about this board is, if you notice, this hook switch is not standing properly, and I don't care for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put that back down on the board like it should be. I'm going to bring a bigger soldering gun into the situation now, because there's a lot more solder here. I'm going to let this heat up. And I want to push this down. It's not flush to the board, and it's kind of cockeyed, and I don't like that. So we're going to fix it. We're going to get that straightened out here. As soon as we get some heat, because I'm going to have to move around quickly. That seemed to pull it up to the board a little better. Now it's sitting flush. I'm going to come in with my regular soldering gun, and I'm going to solder this up a little better. Grab a magnifying glass if I can find it. I'm going to take a look at that. Kind of checking everything out. Now what I want to do here now, a lot of guys won't do this, but I do it. I like to clean everything up a little bit after I get done soldering on it. And I noticed a little corrosion on this board to begin with, so that will help stop any of the corrosion, really. And we'll get another Q-tip, clean it up a little better. And even when they built it from the factory, they didn't clean up any of their it's flux is what it is. It's flux from the solder. But then other materials get mixed in with it, and then it wants to start creating a corrosion. Flux by itself is not going to hurt anything. But what they don't think of is that when the flux mixes with other dirts, because flux is kind of sticky, and that's exactly what flux is. It helps the solder adhere to what you're soldering to. And what they don't think about is when they leave a lot of excess flux on things, it collects up dirt. And what happens is that dirt can affect the board and start causing corrosion. And so, you know, it's just a poor manufacturing habit, basically. And we like to not do that. We like to repair that. So now that we've replaced our diode that was bad, I'm going to pitch that. That's gone. Resoldered our board, straightened out our hook switch. Now is the time to tell. We want to get these components straightened up a little bit because of the fact that this is in a clear see-through case. Now that it's been straightened out, let's do some checking, and that way we'll know if we have to troubleshoot it any further. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in. Okay, plugged into the analyzer. I want to hold down the hook switch. There you go. We're back in business. We'll let off the hook switch, and I want to ring the telephone. Now we want to check this one light here. The yellow lights seem to be flashing. Take a look at this guy. And what we're going to do, give you some dial tone. We're going to stop the video for a minute so that I can go in and do a little more troubleshooting. I want to get this light here that's not working to work. So we'll be right back. Okay, so we're back now, and what's happened here is we have a replacement bulb, and then I've removed the bad bulb. Really, this bulb is not bad. What has happened, when I talked earlier in the video about corrosion, I noticed that the leg had come off and it was green, and so it's a copper lead. And so what's happened is the lead actually was eaten away and it fell off. And I tried to dig that lead out of the glass a little bit here, and sometimes you can do that because the seal actually goes up further. And I might be able to get to it, but probably what's going to happen here as soon as I try to do this, it's probably just going to chip it. Usually you can go up into it and just scratch it out. But I'm going to see if I can't work this and break the glass a little. And it's probably not going to work out. I want to take a look at the bulb. And it's just in the bulb too far. I'm never going to get that out without breaking the bulb. So we're going to go ahead and replace the bulb with our replacement here. And I'm going to go ahead and throw that in the circuit. What I want to do is I want to make sure we ream this out a little. Get our bulb reinstalled back into the board here. Now, this is a frosted bulb. It's green. And this other one was a frosted bulb, but I don't have a clue what color it was. This is going to be kind of the reddish arc bulb. And we have one of them right here, and then we have two frosted ones. So it should all be worked out anyway. It'll all be okay. There's not much we can do. This this is the one that we have, and we're going to go ahead and use it. And it should be fine because it matches the one that's in the handset. These bulbs do pull a little bit of voltage out of this line, so we're going to get this soldered back in here. These phones have a little bit of age on them, or these would have been LEDs. I want to get a quick look at that. Another thing you don't want to forget is to chop anything off that's longer than it's supposed to be. I see a lot of technicians not doing that from the factory and in repair. Okay, so now what we want to do, we want to grab our line cord. Give you some dial tone. Go ahead and ring it. And that'll match the one that's in the handset. Let that go one more time. Okay. Now it's time to check the handset out. I want to hold this down, this hook switch. If that'll hold it down. Use some dial tone. Watch the analyzer. We'll walk through our numbers here real quick. I'm going to end in a 2. I'm going to hit reset and redial. We're going to end in a 2 up there. Now I want to transmit and modulate into the handset and see if we have 1, 2, 3. Every time you see that red indicator light on the analyzer, that's 100% modulation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, hello, hello. So we know that this telephone is working and that it's been repaired. I'm going to go ahead and hit reset. We'll go ahead and pull the line cord on that. Now what I want to do is I want to reinstall our board here. We can take our piece of tape off the hook switch. Make sure we get this straight here. Okay, we're back now, and we've went ahead and put some of the telephone back together, and went ahead and put the screws in the base. And now what I want to show you is we have a number card and a piece of plastic here that we're going to install into the base here. And we'll go ahead and set that into place. Get that installed. Okay, so we have that installed now. And we're going to do some final checks here. So I'll go ahead and plug the unit in. Let that go one more time. Okay, give you some dial tone. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move the telephone over into a regular telephone line. Give you some dial tone. We'll call, like, say, a time and temp number.
Our body shop can repair almost any make and model for less. Offenburg Belleville, 234-0330. Today is Saturday, January 28th. The time is 4:21. Current temperature 49 degrees. Now the weather forecast for the Belleville area.
Mostly sunny today, highs in the 40s. Partly cloudy tonight and Sunday, lows around 30, highs in the lower 40s.
Okay, so we can also dial my number. It'll be busy. Got one other number we can try.
Thank you for calling Walmart. Second choose Walmart. How may I help you?
Yeah, can I get electronics, please?
Sure.
See if they answer the phone. Maybe busy.
Electronics?
Yeah, do you guys sell any clear that you can see through Trimline telephones?
See-through telephones?
Yeah, they're clear.
Okay, let me put you on hold and check. I don't think we do, but let me check.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, I don't believe that they do sell them, but we know that this telephone is in working condition now, and David can start using this telephone once again, and we'll go ahead and move it back over into the analyzer. Give it a couple of rings. Give you some dial tone. Walk through our numbers one more time. Hang up. Redial. Reset. Dial a 2. Transmit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every time you see that red light, that's 100% modulation on the analyzer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hello, hello. So now that this telephone's repaired, we can send it back to David, and he can start using this telephone. And I think he likes this telephone a lot, so I think he'll have a good time using this telephone, and he won't have any problems with it now that it's been repaired. We're also going to do a white number card across here, and we're going to put the feet back on the base but this is the initial checkout, or the final checkout, and the telephone is repaired now. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. David's Telephone from North Carolina, a clear Trimline plastic telephone. Thank you for watching and have a great day.